Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Time and Space, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Jessica Nunn.
And I'm her husband and co-host, Philip Gilfus.
I feel like it's been a while since we've done a podcast.
It has. We've had computer troubles and other situations.
I mean, I'm not sure we've had computer troubles. My computer's fine.
It's okay looking.
You did have computer troubles, and I'm so sorry. And it was sad, because then we gave your computer to my mother, and so you couldn't even get it back. And then you were having to use my computer, and that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But here we are now.
Here we are now, still in the middle of a plague.
On both your houses.
On both our houses, although we only have one, so don't get excited. Although we do have a beach house we're going to in a couple of weeks. It is not ours. Yeah, we're going on holiday, baby.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, and I'm turning old.
So changing the topic.
Uh-huh.
We started watching, or continuing watching,
Are we talking about The Floor is Lava? I assume we're talking about Floor is Lava.
The Third Doctor.
Yes.
We started
we've come back to it.
Final series, and we've only seen the beginning and the end. We've not seen the middle episodes. So, in some random watches. So, but in our Third Doctor watch here, we've finally gotten to the Time Warrior, with the introduction of Sarah Jane Smith.
Sarah Jane, yep.
As the new companion.
Yep.
And then introduce the Sontarans for the first time.
Yep. And who are creepy and sort of have whiskers, and that's strange.
Yeah. So, but you said watching it with context didn't
make me like it anymore. No, we watched this one ages ago, and I think it might have even been before I had a really clear vision of who Sarah Jane was, and possibly before I had a very clear view of the Sontarans, and so I was like, yes, let's watch it again, and no, still wasn't that crazy about it.
So, but yeah, it's definitely sort of commentary about women's roles.
Yes, absolutely, and I think the issue when I was in high school, we watched several BBC versions of Shakespeare. Dame Judi Dench in the Scottish play and things like that. And they didn't appeal to me then, and the language that the Middle Ages guys used was very similar, and the acting style, and it still doesn't appeal to me. It's all very BBC, I think. But, no, not a fan, but that's alright. Yeah. Times they are a-changing, so...
And so for this episode, we thought we'd do something a little different.
Yes.
I saw this, I don't know if meme is the right word, but I saw this on, I believe it's from the BBC Doctor Who website, but anyway, it's around the internets. And it's not just Doctor Who. I've seen the Star Trek version of this, and I'm sure there's...
yeah, I mean, I've seen different... I've even seen, what would you like to keep? Coffee and books and things, and you only get a certain number, so, yeah.
But this is basically...
I think it's a thing.
Yeah, this is basically build your own TARDIS team, where you're allotted a certain number of points. In this case, it's 14. And then the various characters you're given have a certain number of points. And so the challenge is, make your own TARDIS team using...
Are you going to post a picture of this somewhere?
Sure,
so
it'll be in the notes.
Yeah.
I never know what the BBC copyright and all that, but so I'll at least put the link in the notes so you can see what we're going to work off. So we thought...
So you can do your own as well.
Exactly.
And tell us where we all went wrong.
So Jessica and I are going to take a few turns. So we basically did 3 selections each. Mm-hmm. And I know this is better visually done, but I'll give you the audio version here. So it's saying you have 14 points each. And it allots all the doctors 5 points. So 1 through 13. And that's also including the War Doctor and the Ruth Doctor. Those are all worth 5 points each. For 4 points, at the next tier, you have Sarah Jane, who we spoke of, Donna Noble, Bill Potts, Joe Grant, Yasmin Khan, and Amy Pond. At the 3-point tier, you have Rose Tyler, Ryan Sinclair, Clara Oswald, Ace, Martha Jones, and River Song. At the 2-point tier, you have K9, Graham O'Brien, Susan, Romana, Nardal, and Leela. And at the 1-point tier, the names are off, so I'll just have to identify the pictures, which I should be able to.
Yeah.
You have Jack. You have...
Captain Jack.
Yes, you have Captain Jack. You have... Mickey, sorry. You have Adric. You have the Brigadier. You have Jamie. I always just think Fraser Hines.
Oh, right.
And then you have...
Rory,
excuse me.
Yeah, I didn't pick that was Jamie, but that's okay.
Yes. So anyway, we're going to go from there, and ladies first.
Okay, so my first team of 14 is all the girls.
Okay. Who runs the world?
Who runs the world?
Or the TARDIS in this case.
Yep. So I went with River Song.
Uh-huh.
Who is 3 points. Oh, I think I might need another person.
Well, you don't, there's no law that says you have to use all the points. I did, but that's,
Yeah, I went with River Song at 3, Bill at 4, Ace at 3, Sarah Jane at 4, and that 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, no, that comes out as 14. Okay. So I'm good. So River Song, Bill, Ace, and Sarah Jane.
So pitch to me how that dynamic would work.
It's gonna work amazing. I just think, I just love this whole group. I think River Song and Ace in particular are going to get along like a house on fire. Sarah Jane's gonna soften Bill a little bit. I think Sarah Jane gives a little bit of maternal that Bill would like, but not too much maternal, because she's not overly maternal.
Well, I was going to ask, in the picture, in this little meme, if we're going to call it that, it's what I would call young Sarah Jane. Now, are you saying this is going to be older Sarah Jane?
Yeah, I'm seeing Sarah Jane Adventures.
Okay.
But even not. This is just a group of badass women who are off saving the world. Yeah,
because, you could critique, you're a doctor, but I think River, I guess, is your main character for
yes,
running the TARDIS, at least.
Yes, she knows how to.
This is one of those moments in time where she's taken the TARDIS and will return it 1 second later, and the doctor doesn't know.
Yes, and she's just picked up all these girls, and they're just going to have a party. I just think it's going to be great. I love it. It's my favorite team.
Well, you talked about Sarah Jane being potentially maternal to Bill. Now, who's going to be maternal to Ace? Because, the Seventh Doctor was kind of guiding her around. Is this...
Yeah, I don't think she necessarily needs quite as much maternal. I know that, with Bill's mother being gone.
Oh, that's true.
And that was a bit of a thing.
Yes.
And so that's why I went with that pairing.
Because Ace is reverse. She actually has mommy issues. She doesn't like her mother at all.
Which is why I think River Song is going to be a great companion for her. She's older.
Right.
But she's also completely not opposed to blowing shit up. Mm-hmm. So...
Figuratively and literally.
Figuratively and literally. So, yeah, I think they're gonna... and I think Bill's gonna love River as well. I think River and Sarah Jane will be an interest... I feel like they'll just have a lot of gossip.
Is there any... and I'm not pushing these things, but you think there's going to be any romance with Bill and potentially Ace?
Maybe. I hadn't really thought about it. I don't think it needs to be a thing.
No, it doesn't need to be. I just asked, because you certainly, definitely a lot of gay women there.
Yeah, and I think that's okay.
Or pan, or whatever the word is.
Yeah, no.
River's all over the map, certainly. And
I think Bill has proven herself to be a little bit pansexual, because she totally went off with the puddle girl. And,
so
while definitely,
female presenting.
Female presenting, yes, there's a certain amount of pansexuality with that. Yeah. So, I just think they're going to to change the world.
I like it.
Thank you. What you got, baby?
So I picked a lot of favorites and then just mashed them all together and then tried to figure out how it would work. So my choice, or this is my first choice, is the Fifth Doctor.
Okay.
Yaz. Or I should do points, right? So the Fifth Doctor at 5 points.
Yeah.
Yaz at 4 points.
Uh-huh.
Captain Jack at 1 point. I cannot believe they just put him at
I
1 point
I
tier.
didn't think that was fair either,
Everyone's
but yeah.
going to choose him. Martha Jones at 3, and the Brigadier at 1.
Okay. I do think that Yaz and Martha will be a great combo.
And so, I don't know, this can be, modern day Captain Jack. Well, when I say modern, Torchwoody,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I have asterisks next to characters. So, like, the Brigadier doesn't have to be there all the time. It's kind of like a Third Doctor situation.
Yeah.
He's there, but not always there.
And the Brigadier and Jack are going to chafe.
Yeah.
A lot.
He's going to, I can see that he's going to call him Captain Jack, recognize the rank, but then he'll just sort of raise his eyebrow at all the weird
He'll
things.
be a little bit condescending about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do think they'll chafe a little bit.
And then also have Captain Jack as not necessarily always being there.
So you think you're going to switch them out
I think
times.
The Fifth Doctor, Yaz, and Martha are my core group.
Okay.
And then Brigadier and Jack, because we know that we're in the Third Doctor era now, so we're used to unit not being in every story. So Jack and Brigadier are sort of my unit players. They're going to sometimes be there, sometimes not. But the Fifth Doctor, Yaz, and Martha. That way, the Fifth Doctor, he's a pretty calm guy, so he's not going to be overpowering with his character. And I think Martha's in charge at this point. So this is sort of latter, almost Torchwood era Martha. And then Yaz, who we don't get to see a lot of, but I think she'll be able to pop out more.
Yep. I also think there might be some interesting flirt-ons between the Fifth Doctor and Jack.
Maybe, yeah, I think so.
Because the Fifth Doctor is a little bit looser.
I think there's a it's kind of like the Ninth Doctor flirtation, but Fifth Doctor's even more subtle. He just sort of we'll see, or something,
Yeah, no, and Jack will or will poke to see
a lot of cricket jokes.
Yes, and batting, and
sticky wickets.
Yep. Yeah, no, I like it.
Because I figure Yaz. I mean, she's not that young, but I think Martha can serve as a inspirational figure or a guiding figure, older
guiding
sister.
Figure. Yeah, absolutely. Because Yaz, while she's done 2 seasons, doesn't seem... I mean, obviously, once we see a later Martha, she's very much battle-worn.
Yeah, a little more soldiery.
As it were. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think that Yaz, as a police officer, would find that very interesting and find that, something to...
Because I didn't necessarily do
look
this,
up to.
But this is very, Yaz, police officer, Jack is Torchwood, Martha is whatever, soldiery. Brigadier, of course, is a soldier, so it's very...
Yeah, you went very...
But there's still a spectrum.
Traditional. Yeah, there is. I like it.
So, those are my folks.
Okay.
All right, your second one.
My next group. I went with Dr. Ruth.
Okay.
And then I went with Captain Jack, because wouldn't they be fun together? I also put the Brigadier in with Captain Jack, just to see what would happen. I added in K9.
Beep, beep.
Yep. Bill again. And Rory.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a hodgepodge.
Right.
Captain Jack would love Rory. so much.
So do you still have that Centurion outfit?
I just think the two of them and Rory just sort of stumbling over
like,
words.
I'm married.
I just think it would be fantastic.
You can still look.
Yeah. Yep. I think Bill is just a younger Dr. Ruth, to be completely honest. I think that, who knows? Maybe Bill turns into Dr. Ruth at some point once she gets over the Puddle Girl and the whole I'm a Cyberman thing.
Right.
So yeah, this was just a little bit of a hodgepodge, and I just think it would be interesting to look at and see.
How would the Brigadier deal with this Doctor?
I think he would be initially... it's interesting.
Because he's of his time.
He very much is. And so I think he would be initially perplexed. But Dr. Ruth has a certain... maternal is not the right word.
She's a woman in charge, is that what you're trying to say?
She is very much a woman in charge, but not in any way in an abrasive way. Which, let me just say that abrasive women in charge are just as okay as this. I'm not trying to play that game, but I think that she would earn his respect very, very quickly. He would be confused. He would not initially be prepared for this, but he would see very soon that she's got it. And he, working with her is in every way the best choice. So, yeah.
And then, so I'm trying to see who your K9.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's he hanging around with? The doctor, I guess? Or who's his secondary friend?
Rory.
Oh, the tin dog.
Yeah. Rory's going to love him a little bit of K9. And he's going to play fetch with him and do all this stuff while Captain Jack watches indulgently. You know?
I can play fetch too, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And then Rory stumbles over the ball. You know, it's so cute.
Amy doesn't let him have a dog, so this is his only time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because women be women.
Stop that. But yeah, I think it's a fun group, an interesting conglomeration of people. So yeah, that's my choice.
Okay. So I have a hodgepodge as well. Like I said,
nice.
I wouldn't think about how they work together. I'll pick them and then throw them together.
Yeah.
So my second choice is the second Doctor. So I always tend to enjoy him. Bill as well. And then I went Amy and Rory because I think I'm going to try to keep the couple together.
Okay. I never at any point kept them together.
Yeah. I cheer for them. So yeah, so that's it. So they actually were 14 points, just the four of them, because both Bill and Amy are 4 points each.
Yeah.
So because I think the second Doctor is very versatile. Cause every time Pat Troughton appears, it doesn't matter whether it's his own series or comes back for a reunion. Even with the sixth Doctor, he just looks the same and plays the same role.
And I'll be honest. I think he is almost a more extended version of the 12th Doctor. So I feel like in ways Bill would be very equipped to deal with him.
And I think there's a I was going to say he's informal. Yeah, he's a good doctor. He goes the spectrum. He can be very serious. He can be very not serious. But I can find that Bill would probably find the recorder annoying or something. And and Amy,
I don't think Amy would have a whole heck of a lot of time for him, but I think Rory would love him. And so then we've got this power shift.
So it's kind of like
that we don't see.
Because the 11th Doctor, Amy is his favorite, but with the second Doctor, maybe Rory would be his favorite.
Yeah, and Amy has to deal with that.
Yeah, what is this, a boys' club?
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. But Bill's right in the midst of it, so she's like, no.
Because I feel like this is sort of seasoned Amy Rory, but Bill is going to bring in that new perspective of, what's a Dalek, what's a Cyberman? Well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But,
and I think challenging Amy's not a bad thing.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's my
nice. Yeah. I like it.
All right. So what's your...
All right, my third choice. Now, I switched this up because I didn't look very closely and I didn't see the War Doctor.
That's fine.
So then I went back and switched it because I initially had the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith. Changed my mind. I want the War Doctor. So I want the War Doctor. Martha.
Okay.
Ryan.
All right.
Nardole. And, in my attempts to keep couples together, Mickey Ricky.
Okay.
And so, yeah. I think that this is a very much kitted out group. Ryan is a little bit but you've got the War Doctor and Martha and Mickey Ricky, who are all seasoned soldiers, as it were. Ryan and Nardole completely blow that up a little bit. I mean, Ryan's ready to go, and he's ready to learn from all of this. And Nardal is just sort of flapping around. And
I can see the two of them pairing up for sort of just getting into hijinks.
Yes.
They're sort of the, I don't know what's a good example. But anyway, they're always going to be the two that go away on the vacation planet to have fun and end up, in trouble or something.
And it's going to be Nardal leading Ryan along, because he really wants to learn from the War Doctor and Martha and Mickey Ricky. But Nardal keeps leading him astray.
Because he wants to do cool things.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just serious.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's a nice Ryan thing, is Ryan's ready to fight. He's not afraid of fighting. And he wants to learn. And these characters are giving him that opportunity. But he's also still just a very young man. And Nardal gives him that valve, if you will, of being able to take that break and ending up in trouble. And Nardal has gone mad, and now we have to rescue the princess. And yeah,
who's going to work best with the War Doctor, and who's going to be a little more?
And Martha's going to work best with him.
They've both seen things.
Yes. Nardal's going to annoy the shit out of him. But he's ultimately going to have a fondness for him.
Right.
Because Nardal is nothing if not endearing.
Right.
That's why he ended up staying around as long as he did. So, yeah. Although, I wouldn't be mad about War Doctor and a little bit of River. That would be fun. But you didn't give me 4 choices. So.
Don't call me sweetie.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
and what you got?
Yeah, my last one. 8th Doctor.
Yay.
Ryan, I picked as well. Leela, who I know you're not as familiar with.
Yeah, and you're a big fan of her.
K9.
Okay.
And Nardal.
Because Nardal and K9.
Yes. So for this one, I asterisked as well K9 and Nardal. So they're not going to show up all the time, just like K9 doesn't show up all the time, but Nardal, just like the 12th Doctor, doesn't show up all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so because I thought the 8th Doctor, I mean, goodness, he can do anything, and
I think the 8th Doctor would be really lovely with Ryan. Actually, right. I think because there's a little bit of gentleness to him that I think is really lovely and would be paternal towards Ryan in a not dissimilar way to Graham.
Right. Yeah, and then I think Leela's sort of a Charlie-esque figure, woman of her time, taken out of time, with the, and that's sort of taken sometimes in a maybe thematically problematic way of soothing the savage with the 4th Doctor, but
Ryan would just be fascinated with her.
He has a crush on her, and she's not interested in him,
or not even a crush, just a genuine fascination.
Because she's the action star of this.
Yeah,
because
Ryan
absolutely may want to be, but he's physically in some ways can't be, because of his condition. But she's the one who's throwing knives and strangleholds and flipping people, and so maybe...
I can see that. And again, it wouldn't necessarily be a quote unquote sexual crush,
right.
Just this sort of awe at the things that this woman can do, and he'd just sort of follow her around, I think, and want to learn from her, and the 8th Doctor would temper that in a way that I think would be really nice.
Why don't you two go practice some knife throwing? Show Ryan how to do it,
Or Ryan, why don't you take K9 for a walk before Leela throws a knife at you? I like it.
Some comic relief with Nardal.
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
No, you've got some good choices. Mine are better, but you've made some good choices.
Cool. And, and obviously not every companion is on this list. So we could always argue with the point system, too.
Well, again, Captain Jack has just 1 point. I just think it's crazy. K9?
I wouldn't have him at 1 point, honestly. I'd switch him.
I kind of would, too. Or even Nardal. Or, again, Leela. And I know that she's one that you really love. And I also am aware that I am not as familiar with her. Yeah. But I don't know necessarily why Leela gets 2 points where you completely miss somebody like Tegan. Mm-hmm. Or, some of the more...
known.
No, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's interesting, they have Romana, but they have the second Romana as the picture. So, So yeah, there you go. So like I said, we'll list this, and if you want to let us know your TARDIS team pick.
Yeah, please do. Or you can just message us and let us know that I was the right one.
It's true.
And I won this game.
Well, with that, let's go into the TARDIS library.
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh,
When
whoosh.
you close your eyes.
I go to the library.
Go to the library now.
For this segment, we're going to talk about Richard Carrier's new video, friend of the show.
Yay! I just love it!
And it's not, for those who've been listening to us, we always talk about his review of various Doctor eras. And his last one being the 9th Doctor era. And I know he's currently working on the 10th Doctor, David Tennant era of Doctor Who. But he's sort of doing a side project now, where he's doing a focus on the companions.
And this was shorter.
Yeah.
And we definitely, school ends in the last 3 weeks of July. And so maybe in August we can get him back and talk to him about his companion series. Because I'd be really interested in hearing about that.
And he's also taking, polls about which companions to consider next. So if you go to Clever Dick Productions on Facebook, which we'll link in the show notes, you can certainly let him know what you'd like him to tackle next.
Yep.
I can't remember who I voted for, to tell you the truth.
Oh,
I think I may have said Ace on your behalf, but I can't remember.
Thank you, baby.
But in any case, what he did start with was the first
Susan,
companion, I suppose, was Susan, yes.
Yeah, no, definitely the first companion.
So what did you think of his research into the character of Susan?
I found it really interesting because he talks a lot about the actress, Carol Ann Ford, wanting to take this role because she thought it would be less damsel in distress, more the Avengers.
Not the one you're thinking of.
Literally, yeah, literally the British Avengers, and being a little disappointed in that. And of course, that is my complaint as a general rule of companions, is when we have the princesses.
The yellers, the screamers.
The yellers, the screamers, the sprained ankles. Yep. Yeah. So I gave a little hoorah to Carol Ann Ford, because I do, and he made an interesting point about her age being rather amorphous.
Yes, because he quotes. I mean, she's presented as being a high school student in the very first episode, of course. But then you can argue not that this is sort of retro fitting. But, if she's a Time Lord, then she can, of course, be any age. It just happens to be her current regeneration as a young lady. But then apparently in some episode, was it Marco Polo?
Yeah. Where she suggests that she's 16. And then her exit is falling in love and marrying some guy.
Right.
And he also points out that in that same episode, the Doctor refers to punishment as smacking her bottom, which is all sorts of weird. Yeah. So I can't even start on that, to be perfectly honest. But he also talks about the idea of the time period, the woman needed to find somebody to take care of her, blah, 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 vomit, vomit. Because clearly Carol Ann Ford felt differently as well, but that was sort of the family idea. And it's interesting. I wonder, because of course one of the most beautiful things I think about the start of Doctor Who and all of its filming is, of course, Verity is the producer and the guy Warris is the director. So you've got this lovely, diverse technical group who are still having to, or choosing to, and that's not made clear, adhere to tropes that aren't necessarily diverse or accurate or yeah. So the idea that you've got this woman and this man of color who are so intricately involved in the show still choosing to, well, she needs a man to take care of her and that's what we're going with. And whether or not that was kowtowing to the BBC, which is the, for all intents and purposes, the state broadcasting agency, you know. So, I don't know, but it was interesting. And I'm glad she gets, I'm looking forward to the Big Finish productions where she apparently gets more depth. And, yeah.
Yeah, and it was interesting just that she was initially pictured in the first pitch, or the nascent pitches before it was even called Doctor Who. But, you know, the audience stand-in, you know, the Rose Tyler, that was supposed to be Susan.
Yes.
As, you know, and I guess the old argument, and I don't know if they were making it at the time, but the argument is if you want kids to watch, you always make the kid character slightly older, because all kids are interested in slightly older versions of themselves, not current ages of themselves. So, yeah.
Which is why then when we get the reboot with Peter Cushing and the 8-year-old Susan or whatever, it's weird. It's just weird.
You just think Peter Cushing version is weird, full stop.
This is also true. I'm not going to deny that. But even though you have a much younger Susan, you have an older sister.
Yep.
Whoever she is.
Barbara, or I don't know, whatever she was called. I forget.
Yeah. But you do have that older character to be the person that everybody looks up to. I don't know. I don't know why she was there. I don't know why she was there. I don't know why these movies were made. I could do an entire podcast on why Peter Cushing, Doctor Who, should not and does not, in my mind, exist.
We love angry fans here. But
Bring it.
Yeah, I can't, you know, and I'm not an expert in First Doctor Who. We haven't, you know, carefully watched every single episode, but, you know, her role is usually, I mean, I think she's not always the role, but often she's just the role of the person who, you know, gets in trouble and you have to rescue, and that's pretty much her role.
Yeah, and unfortunately, once you get into that, it's hard to break out of that. And then it becomes quite one note. You know, it's my issue with Perry. I don't know anything about her other than the fact that she screams and falls down. So,
but yeah, I'm interested in learning more about all the companions, because even the ones who were more short-lived or not as familiar, you know, it's still interesting to hear the backstory, what was envisioned with the character, what was how they do the casting, and then when did they decide to leave, or how they decide to leave. And I thought it was interesting that Dodo, short-lived First Doctor companion, that actress was initially considered for the role of Susan, but it was like one-year contract. Nah.
Yeah, and maybe, you know, I want to know all the backstage stuff with Ace and things like that, but it also might be useful to hear more about characters like Perry, who, you know, what was going on behind the scenes. Sorry, Joe Grant is there. Neither of us chose Joe Grant at any point.
We both like Joe, but
well, we love Joe, but we didn't think she belonged on our team.
Well, and I think, you know, it's an interesting parallel that the Doctor Who writers, when faced with, you know, usually a woman, companion wanting to leave, they marry her off. Yeah, and so did that with Joe.
Yep, absolutely.
They don't really kill people off, because Adric's, you know, the first. Spoiler. Actually, I suppose, what's her face? I can't remember her name. Was the first companion to die, but she was like a companion for like 5 seconds in the First Doctor.
These things happen.
But Adric was really the first companion to die, and that's the Fifth Doctor. And so you don't look, but you don't really get killing off companions as a choice until later.
Yeah, so, Leela. What happens to Leela?
She, if memory serves, she stays on Gallifrey.
Okay. Nyssa
walks away.
Yeah, she goes back to
Nyssa. I can't remember. I can't remember. She leaves, but I can't remember what happened, because she leaves twice. She leaves once, and then in the last Fourth Doctor episode, you remember Nyssa's like, "I've come back."
Hello,
because the Watcher came back in the TARDIS and grabbed Nyssa, and she was here. But I forgot when she left the Fifth Doctor what the reason was.
Yeah, but we definitely have, and Barbara and Ian
they
kind of go off be
with each other.
together.
Well, yeah, they don't really. Yeah, it's not strongly implied, but not necessarily implied.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Maybe that's a thing we should explore at some point.
Because Richard, I would love Richard to come and talk about companion exits.
Yeah, okay.
But he's doing his research, so maybe we need to wait for him to do. Because we were initially in the story idea, and then the behind the scenes is what you want.
Yeah, but
whose decision was it?
Yeah, but it's worth maybe talking to him in August when he's got a little bit of downtime before he has to, like all teachers, figure out how the hell you're going to open up schools during all of this mess. He's British, so I feel like they might have a slightly better handle on things, but let's be honest, not much more of a handle on things because their people are almost as useless as ours are. Yay.
End on a high note. So other than Ace, which companion story would you like to hear?
I actually would. I mean, I'd love to any of the new companions.
Right.
Any of the new companions. But I would like to hear a little bit more about somebody like Perry, who I so vehemently dislike, in the hopes of getting a better perspective. Obviously, people like Sarah Jane and Joe Grant, we have more information. Because Sarah Jane reappears so many times, and the woman who plays Joe Grant,
does lots of interviews. And
yeah. I mean, she's Katie Manning. Thank you. She's just willing to talk about anything, which I love about her so much. But it means that there's not a whole lot I feel like I need to know. So yeah, somebody like Perry. I'd also be really interested in the Bonnie Langford. How'd she end up there, and all of those sorts of things. Those are the ones, and maybe a little bit of Fraser Hines.
Oh yeah, Jamie.
Yeah,
I mean, the only companion I believe that ever had an entire Doctor run.
Yeah, and he is without a doubt the most.
Well, okay, that's not true but almost the entire Doctor.
Yeah,
As I said, then like, well, that's not true,
but without a doubt, when you think about
80%
male
of a Doctor
companions, solo male, I'm taking people like Ricky and Rory out of the mix because they sort of were companion adjacent.
Secondary companions.
Fraser Hines is without a doubt Jamie's the most famous, I guess, or most whatever,
the Rudolph,
notorious,
the reindeer of companions.
He is the Rudolph the reindeer of, and certainly of male companions, and that's what I'm thinking, and maybe. Well, I was going to say as we go forward, but Ryan and Graham are both going, aren't they? And so we're losing our male companions there. I can't think of a more influential, maybe that's the word I'm looking for, male companion.
Yeah, I think so.
So his would be an interesting story.
All right. Well, until next time, keep enjoying the Doctor's many adventures throughout time and space.
This is BBC Television.